Good morning. I'm Janet from Purple Dragon Co-op, here with co-op member Melissa, and we're going to show you how to divide the produce. The first thing you want to do when you get your delivery is you want to check it in. So let's check it in. If you want to read to me, can you read?
The first item is 1 sack of cheese pumpkins.
So we actually have 2 sacks of cheese pumpkins this morning. I have 1 and 2, so we have 15 for the group. What else?
1 case of Brussels sprouts.
Okay. I got a box of Brussels sprouts.
1 bag of carrots.
And it's also good when you're checking to move each item so that you don't count the same thing twice. I see the carrots over there.
1 case of celery.
Here's a celery. No, is it? Yes, it is. Okay.
1 case of pears.
I see the pears right there.
Yeah. 1 case of sweet potatoes.
I have that right here.
Okay. 1 case of apples.
Got it right there.
1 case of bananas. The bananas are right here.
Good.
1 box of cranberries, and they're right there.
Good.
1 case of kale.
Got it right here.
Okay. 1 case of peppers.
I saw them. They're right here.
1 case of lettuce.
Now it's always good because a lot of boxes look similar to check that it's actually the thing that you expect. Got the lettuce.
And 1 case of tomatoes.
Got the tomatoes right here.
Okay, that's it.
Ready to go. Okay, the next thing we want to do is find our dividing instructions. So we receive an envelope with our delivery. We have our dividing instructions, and it tells us where to start. And then we want to make 15 units to divide into. We always make 15 shares. So you can either use bins or you can use paper bags, as we have done over here. So we have our dividing instructions that came out of the envelope that was delivered by the driver with the produce. We've checked that we have all our ingredients. So the next thing we're going to do is label the bags. Melissa has made 30 bags. Usually you need 30 bags or 15 bins. And I printed out labels with the names of the co-op members on the computer because that's easier for us, and this way people don't get mixed up about what to take if you have a new person or a sub. So we're going to put those labels on the bags and then get going on dividing.
I'm going to start putting the rest of these.
Take a long time. So we're going to look at our dividing instructions now and see what the first item is to divide. So the first item,
Is the cheese pumpkins.
and how many per person?
It says 1 pumpkin per veggie share, so 1 per family.
So we're going to find the pumpkins and we're going to open the bag. You'll need a scissor when you divide. So we return a lot of materials to farmers. So when we can, we try to save the bags, the boxes, not tear them. So I saw that this bag could be untied. So we're untying it rather than cutting the string, so it works better. We have cheese pumpkin. 1 to the share. If you do have something extra, it's good to call the office and make sure that it doesn't belong to another group. It's important to only go in the order where things won't get squished. And let's go to the carrots. And
The carrots, the weight per share is 1 pound, 10 ounces each.
now, inside each bag is 5 pounds. We don't always get the same amount of carrots, but this is the amount we have today. And what we do is we weigh and count, so we don't have to weigh every batch. It makes the dividing go much more quickly. So if you have a digital scale, it's 1.6. And if you have a regular scale, it's 1 pound, 10 ounces. So Melissa's weighing out how many carrots are in 1 pound, 10 ounces. Another way to do it is, since you get 5 bags, every bag gets divided among 3 shares. So it's actually possible to divide without a scale, but it's nicer if you have a scale.
Okay. So then we can add the carrots to know how many are in each share approximately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So about 13 carrots per share. And if we have extra, then we just divvy it up at the end.
So we try to save the bags as we're dividing because the bags either can be returned to the warehouse or can be used to put other items in. For example, today we have tiny tomatoes, so having these bags from the carrots will be handy to put the tomatoes in. Because Purple Dragon is focused very much on recycling and reuse, we try not to damage the boxes that we're using so that they can be reused. So this is a special kind of produce box. It has a score, and it folds at the score, and that way it can be reopened and closed without damaging the flaps or any other part. Now, if we go over here, we can look at a normal banana box. This box is made in two parts. So the top slides up, so you don't have to rip it open to get to the bananas. And then there's apple and pear boxes. These are normally in two parts. So the top just slides up and you can access the fruit. Now sometimes the banana boxes, the apple boxes are taped. Oh, but this one isn't today, so that makes it easier. If they're taped, the tape is going to be down here at the bottom, holding the top and bottom together. So, I don't know if you can see that. The tape would normally be right down here. So you just go with a scissor and separate the two on both sides, and then that will just lift off. And especially if you don't have enough containers to divide into, you can use this lovely box top, or any of them, to divide into. It's also sometimes handy to put the shares into a box. The bags, if you're dividing into bags. And finally, if you don't want to reuse them, you can return them to our warehouse, where we're always very happy to reuse them. We want you to follow the dividing instructions because we put a lot of thought into which items are more firm and can withstand being lower in the bags, and which are more fragile and need to be packed in the top. So always follow the dividing instructions unless something seems very much harder or softer than we're expecting. Like today we had to make a change because the Brussels sprouts weren't the big stalks, but they were little plastic pints that would get crushed in the bottom. Melissa, what's next after that? I'll bring it over.
The next item is pears.
Okay.
And the pear quantity is 2 pounds, 10 ounces. So now we're weighing our pears. Each share is going to get 2 pounds, 10 ounces.
2 pounds, 10 ounces are 2.6 on a digital scale. Oh, I don't think you're going to get any closer than that.
So about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 9 pears per share.
And sometimes it's good if you have a little container or something to carry them in, so you can do like one trip. Also, it's good to carry the box, to move the box around with you rather than keep walking back and forth with small handfuls. It makes it more efficient. So we're careful to handle the items very gently and not make a sound when we put them down so that things don't bruise. Because even if you don't see a bruise immediately, sometimes a bruise will develop later, and then people will be unhappy to get bruised fruit, especially when it was gorgeous to start with. So we finished putting 9 pears in every box, and we find we have pears left over. How many?
We have about 20 left.
So we're going to put 1 more in each share, and since we know there's 20, then some shares will get 2. We'll either give them 2 smaller ones, or else we'll know which end we start giving 2 at, and so when we come back with the next item, if there's extra, we'll give extra at the opposite end. And sometimes we'll have to put the extras in the middle, depending on what the item is, so that all the shares end up fair and even. So now we have a box top and a box bottom left, and the best way to return them to the Purple Dragon warehouse is to put the box bottom inside the box top, and then we can take it. There's also these beautiful pear leaves here, which I'm going to put with the rest of the autumn leaves.
So I'm measuring out the sweet potatoes. It's about 3 per share. And if we have extra, we'll just add more.
So for bananas, you'll have to rip bunches to try to get an even weight. Too much.
Too much. We're going for 2.6.
Ooh, just about right. All right. How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay,
bananas.
6 bananas per share.
So the next item is kale, and each share gets 1 bunch each.
Right, except that 24 kale come in a case. So that since we have 15 shares, that means 9 people are going to get 2 kale. Boy, how are we going to make that fair for everyone?
Well, I think we're gonna put 1 each into 6 bags, and
2 each into 6 bags, and 9 people get 1. But
Right.
then when we get to the lettuce, we're going to make sure that the people that got 2 kale are going to get 1 lettuce.
right, that's right.
Okay, so Melissa's going to start with the kale, and I'm going to start with the lettuce. Oh, and let's remember how these special boxes open. These produce boxes that have a score here, we fold into the score, and that way we don't have to rip the flaps, and the box can be reused. And the same thing for the lettuce box, opens in the same exact way. So to make it fair, 9 shares are going to get 2 kale, and 6 are, and they're going to